Okay, so we're going live now. We'll be streaming now. Yeah.
We can't see you anymore, Ibuku. Are you doing any introductions?
Yes, I will. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the first TOE Way webinar series. I know everyone is really expectant. I've been seeing a lot of comments in the chat box. So facilitating this session today is our amiable Angela Neke. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about her because I've spoken about her so many times. She'll be facilitating this session today, and I promise you're going to really enjoy it because she's going to give you live examples, relatable examples that you can use for your business or starting your business. And supporting us with translations today will be Foko. Foko Rollins is also a mentor. And to also mention that Angela has been a mentor TEF for over 4 or 5 years now, and she's still a mentor. So please just look out for her very soon once you're selected and you're paired with a mentor. So I would hand over to Angela now. She's going to take us through the TOE Way business values. So please, you guys should jot down, ask questions. She wants the session to be very interactive. So if you have any questions or you want to make any suggestions or you want to comment, please let me know in the chat box and we will share with her. Over to you, Angela. Thank you and welcome again.
Thank you very much, Ibuku. Good afternoon, I guess, for most of you. I don't know if it's morning anywhere in Africa. Maybe, I wonder if it's morning anywhere. But I think it's afternoon for the most part. Good afternoon, everyone. Ibuku, thank you very much for the introduction. And Foko, thank you for the support you're going to give us today. So we're going to be this is the first, like Ibuku said, this is the first in a series of 4 webinars that we're going to be having on the TOE way. I always say, it's a great privilege to talk about someone that's been so successful, that has achieved so much. It's very easy to talk about somebody that's been successful. It would have been a difficult task if one had to do this for someone that had not achieved all that the founder of the Tony Elumelu Foundation and the promoter of Afro-capitalism, etc., has taught us. So I always like for this to be interactive. I always start with a question, as in, could you tell me some of the achievements that you know about Tony Elumelu? And Ibukun will help me by summarizing some of your responses. So if you can tell us some of the achievements that you know of that Tony Elumelu, some of Tony Elumelu's achievements. Who wants to start?
Okay.
Do we have any responses, Ibukun?
Not yet. A lot of them are still typing, but
okay.
They haven't said anything yet.
Okay. I'll be patient.
Ok, bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, nous allons commencer la première série des webinaires sur la façon de faire des Tony. Angela vient de faire l'introduction et elle aimerait que la session soit vraiment active. À cette fin, elle vient de poser une question. Elle veut savoir que vous lui disiez un peu. Qu'est-ce que vous savez de ce que Tony a pu faire comme accomplissement? Donc, qu'est-ce que vous avez comme idée des œuvres de Tony? Donc, voilà où on en est. Elle attend quelques réponses pour pouvoir commencer. Merci.
Okay, so there's nothing yet for now. They're still thanking you. Welcome, Angela. Welcome, Angela. They haven't said anything with regards to your question.
I take it that you've all welcomed me. And to kick off this session, I need someone very bold to tell me one achievement they know about Tony Elumelu. One achievement, please. Just somebody be bold and tell me something you know. You must know something about his achievements. Otherwise, I'm sure you wouldn't have signed up for the entrepreneurship program.
Nothing yet till now. Nobody has said anything.
This is the first time I've taken this webinar and I haven't had any responses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, maybe, Foko, do you want to give us one to give them some boldness to speak?
Yeah.
Foko?
Yes, you can take, like example, he is the chairman of UBA Bank. It means that right now he's leading that bank very, like a very good leaders.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so one person said something is the founder of UBA Bank.
Okay. Okay. We'll deal with that as we go along. Anybody else?
Nadia, do you want to tell us something about the founder? Nadia is here as well. She's a Portuguese translator.
Nadia, thank you for your participation. Do you want to give us an achievement?
Okay, so another person
Where
has
was
said,
he yesterday? Where was TOE yesterday?
yeah, they should know that.
Where was, are you following him on Instagram? Where was he yesterday?
Okay, so one person is saying here is the chairman of UBA.
Mm-hmm.
He's a seasoned and successful banker. He's proactive. Is an active promoter of Africapitalism.
Well done, well done.
TOE is an oil champion.
Wow.
Is the owner of UBA. Is a great man.
Okay.
Yeah. So is a great philanthropist.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, comments are coming in now.
Thank you. Let's have some more. Let's have some more. Okay,
so he is empowering Africans. He has the largest entrepreneurship program in Africa.
Okay.
Okay, he has been the greatest philanthropist in Africa.
Well done.
He has a lot of businesses.
Like which businesses?
Okay, so the person didn't state any. The person didn't state any, but
okay. Okay. But you guys have done well. You've done well. I think that I always start with this because I think that it's important to see, first and foremost, you know what, who knows what O in Tony Elumelu, Tony TOE, who knows what the O in his initials stands for? Does anybody want to hazard a guess?
I'll just check through the chat to see if anybody gets it.
Okay, let me tell you, his name, the O stands for Onyemaichi. So it's Tony Onyemaichi Elumelu, okay? So that's, we're learning the TOE way and the TOE business values. He was the youngest branch manager at the age of 26. You know, in those days, branch managers in Nigeria were pretty old. So he was young at 26. In 1997, at the age of 34, he acquired the distressed Crystal Bank, rebranded it as Standard Trust Bank, and transformed it into the top 5 player in the Nigerian banking industry. That was a major achievement. He was the youngest CEO at the age of 34, so youngest branch manager, youngest CEO. You know, he in August 2005, he conceived and executed the groundbreaking STB-UBA merger, the largest financial services merger in sub-Saharan Africa. It's transformed UBA, actually those statistics, I'll give you more updated statistics on UBA later. He's created wealth for shareholders. You know, he acquired a stake of Transcorp PLC in 2011 and Ugeli in 2013. He's received so many awards and one of you said he's the originator of Africapitalism. Time 100 named him the top 100 most influential people in the world. So these are achievements that, you know, one wants to emulate. And what the approach that I'll take to this webinar is one, I'll give you a quote from TOE, I'll give you the business value, and I'll give you an example where possible. So TOE says, looking back, he's found that there's a certain work ethic, a certain way that he does business that has contributed to these achievements. Okay, so there's a certain way he does business, and he would like these business values institutionalized. So all these achievements that we saw, and that's why I wanted you guys to participate, is because if he's achieved so much, you know, we want to learn how he went about it. You know, so because he's saying he wants these business values institutionalized for posterity. Says over the course of his career, he has learned that when you've achieved a certain amount of experience and a certain amount of success, it is important to reflect on what principles, what practices and decisions led you to this success. And, you know, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, or over the four-part series webinars that we're going to be going through. He says, when you find those key elements, it's important to pass that knowledge along so that others may learn from your success and also your mistakes. Okay, so that's what we're going to be spending time today. So the TOE way basically leverages the value enhancing assets of Tony Elumelu, his name, which we talked about, Tony Onyemachi Elumelu, his history, his legacy, his track record, his personality, his personality traits, his brand, his quality and excellent, and it basically his way of doing business. And these business values are derived from his business beliefs, his practices, his culture, his philosophy, etc. So the TOE way, we're going to be going into each of these over the four-part series. They're basically categorized into the three core values of the Hares Holdings group: force, enterprise, execution, and excellence. We're going to be talking about foresight, creativity, resilience, timely delivery, results-driven, precision and rigor, institutionalization and governance, human capital, culture, and the business values, a whole long list, but we'll go into detail on this. So I'll leave both Foko and Nadia to interpret what I've spoken about so far.
Okay, over to you, Foko.
That's the basic introduction.
Yes, over to you, Foko and Nadia. Just a summary of everything Angela has talked about. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Angela, thank you, Ibukun. Ok, donc, Angela vient de partager avec nous en premier lieu quelles sont les œuvres de Tony. Donc, elle a commencé par nous présenter un peu comme son CV. Il a eu beaucoup de prix. Il a été un brillant manager de 24 ans. Il était le meilleur directeur général des banques au Nigeria. Il a eu beaucoup de prix sur le plan mondial. Il a été cité par les grands journaux. Et c'est fort de cela que lorsqu'il est rentré dans la vie active, il a voulu donc partager avec la jeunesse africaine quelles sont ces façons de faire qu'il a adoptées dans sa vie et qui lui ont permis d'avoir autant de succès. Donc voilà grosso modo ce sur quoi nous allons échanger et Angela avec Flor Nadia.
Thank you, Foko. Thank you, Angela. Boa tarde a todos. Olha, breve sumário do que foi dito pela senhora Angela há pouco. Basicamente, o TOE Way é um conjunto de regras que o nosso patrono, o senhor Tony, acredita e leva na sua vida, ok? Ela começou por perguntar o significado do O no meio, temos T-O-E, quem sabe o significado? Não, o O vem do seu nome, que é Onyemachi, qualquer coisa do gênero, não sei bem pronunciar, mas basicamente é isso, portanto é o nome do Tony Elumelu. E como é que esse webinar vai ser feito? Basicamente vai haver uma cota, quer dizer, uma frase dita pelo Tony Elumelu, a seguir o valor associado a esta frase e depois um exemplo prático. Quem é Tony Elumelu? É alguém que chegou a gerente do banco aos 26 anos. O mais jovem na história do Nigéria, eu acredito que em muitos países que nós conhecemos aí pela África. É também a pessoa que atingiu a categoria de CEO aos 34 anos, ele tem inúmeros prêmios, é uma das 100 pessoas mais influentes no mundo. Portanto, com ele, os valores deles, vamos aprender para colocar nos nossos negócios, nas nossas vidas, para que também tenhamos sucesso. É basicamente isso que vai ser visto ao longo dessa série de webinars. Thank you, Angela. Over to you.
Thank you very much. So the first theory, way, and business value we're going to talk about is ideation. And what theory says is ideas can come from anyone or anywhere. Okay? Ideas can come from anyone or anywhere. Let's look at what the literature says. Ideas can be top down. Ideas do not have to come from the subject matter expert. Ideas can come from anyone in the organization, regardless of hierarchy. You know, typically, you know, you have ideas coming from the top down, you know, so, or ideas coming from subject matter experts. And Theo is saying ideas can come from anyone and anywhere. Ideas can come from your customers. Ideas can come from outside your industry. Ideas solve market needs, and ideas make your idea a reality. And what Thierry says is on ideation is he reviews emails. You know, people send him 1,001 emails, I'm sure. And he's always looking for great ideas, because great people are always sending him, oh, we can do this, you know, you need to do this, you need to do that. So he gets these great ideas from anyone. Internal meetings, he listens attentively to what everyone is saying at a meeting, because the idea can come, the idea that will solve the market need can come from anyone. And he says, take a look at what is happening in the rest of the world. Inevitably, it will happen in your local market. So, and he says this, he says, everyone dreams, you know, it's the easiest thing to do. But what is important is not the ability to dream, but how you translate your dream into action and reality. All of you that are listening to this, all you entrepreneurs that are listening to this, you've come up with an idea. You've all come up with an idea. And Theo is saying it's the easiest thing to do, to come up with that idea. But you have to translate that idea into a reality, translate that dream into action. That energy and discipline that you apply to translate a dream, an idea, a vision to reality is the defining force. He says nobody will reward you for having great ideas, but you will be rewarded for having outcomes and what you have achieved, you know? So with every societal challenge comes a business opportunity, is what Thierry said. Can someone tell me, okay, so we've had a societal challenge across the world since last year, COVID. Who wants to tell us the business opportunities that have come up as a result of COVID? Because those are societal challenges. Many businesses have sprung up as a result of COVID. Who wants to talk about that? Foko and Nadia, maybe you want to help me ask the question.
Yeah, sure. Quem quer dar exemplos de ideias ou ideias de negócios que surgiram com a pandemia de Covid? Negócios que não existiam e surgiram com a pandemia ou que explodiram, né? Tornaram-se maiores com a pandemia. Essa é a questão.
Oui, donc Angela nous demande de partager ou bien de poser une question ou de dire qu'est-ce qui peut bien faire qu'un challenge de la société devient une opportunité. Elle prend l'exemple, par exemple, sur la situation de la COVID-19 que le monde est encore en train de vivre. Avant cela, elle nous explique comment est-ce qu'on génère les idées. Ça peut venir du haut comme du bas, ça peut venir des emails que Tony reçoit, des réunions, et que le plus important, tout le monde rêve, mais le plus important, c'est de pouvoir transformer son rêve en réalité. Donc, essayer de dire qu'est-ce qui, d'après vous, peut être un challenge associé qui est devenu une opportunité. Thank you.
Okay, so we have some names here. So they're saying, so one person just mentioned Shaggy, who makes face masks. Then there's Joy Tide Backup, who is into online marketing. So we're still waiting to get more.
Very good. So online marketing, face masks, these were, you know, online marketing has taken on, a whole new level, because a lot of people, that's the only way that they can sell. But how do you sell and not fulfill? So what other businesses have sprung up? How do you sell and not fulfill your order? So you sell online. What's one major business that has sprung up? Logistics. Logistics, delivering, dispatch. So online marketing is good, but if I order online and you can't get the goods to me within the time frame that, in a reliable way, I won't use you anymore. I won't order from you. So it's, you have to have good quality goods, but also quality logistics. Okay, so Thierry says, with every societal challenge comes a business opportunity, and we've seen that in the last year. Moving on, there's an example. Who knows what Red TV is? Red
We're
TV.
waiting for them to respond.
Quem sabe o que é Red TV? Red TV, conforme o logotipo está cá. Quem sabe, responda, por favor, no chat.
Donc, de chaque défi de la société peut venir des opportunités. Donc, voilà ce que Angela a essayé de nous expliquer. Et maintenant, nous voulons savoir, que savez-vous de Red TV? Que savez-vous de Red TV?
Okay, so Red TV is UBA's YouTube channel. Okay, so those of you that are not on it, you should subscribe. But in August 2016, I think it was, the director of communications at UBA came up with the idea, and by December had executed it. So this is an example of someone a subject matter expert, coming up with the idea and then executing it translating. Remember what Thierry says, translate that dream into reality, into action. So in a very short time, from August to December, the idea came through. The idea was translated into action. It was launched in December of the same year. So that's an example, of there's another example I'd like to share. So STB hired, remember, ideas can come from outside your industry. So ideas can come from the subject matter expert, ideas can come from outside your industry. So STB, Standard Trust Bank, that was the bank that was distressed, that Thierry turned around and rebranded. They hired staff from a fast food chain. For those of you that are not in Nigeria, Mr. Biggs, it's a fast food chain, from hotels and from airlines. Why do you think we did that? Why do you think Standard Trust Bank did that? Why do you think Thierry did that? So Standard Trust Bank is a bank, and then he hired from a fast food chain, from hotels, from airlines. Why would he do that?
Bom, basicamente o que o Tony Elumelu diz aqui, ideias podem vir de qualquer lado ou de qualquer pessoa. Não tem que ser da pessoa expert na matéria, mas pode ser de alguém que é totalmente fora da área. Por isso é que o senhor, lê e escuta de todo mundo. Ele, numa reunião, escuta a opinião de todos, ele lê o e-mail de todos, porque nunca se sabe de onde é que vem a melhor ideia. Mas o mais interessante é que não é só saber ter a ideia, mas é saber executá-la. Há pouco perguntamos sobre a televisão, sobre o Red TV. Red TV é basicamente um canal do YouTube do banco UBA, né? E essa ideia surgiu de um diretor do banco em agosto e em dezembro já estava implementada. Portanto, basicamente, o Tony Elumelu diz aqui, a pessoa não ganha só por ter ideia, mas ganha por executá-la e executá-la bem. E agora a segunda questão é o segundo exemplo. Portanto, esse primeiro exemplo da Red TV é um exemplo de alguém que é expert na matéria. O segundo exemplo é que o STB, que é o Standard Bank, recrutou pessoas de cadeia de fast food, Mr. Biggs é cadeia de fast food, de hotéis e de companhias aéreas. Por que um banco haveria de recrutar pessoas dessa indústria? Essa é a questão. Respondam, por favor, no chat, se puder.
OK, thank you, Nadia. Donc, nous venons d'échanger sur le premier exemple qui est Red TV. Red TV, en fait, c'est la chaîne, c'est le YouTube de UBA Bank. Et Angela nous explique que, en fait, l'idée est venue d'un directeur marketing de la banque UBA qui, sous une réunion en août, a émis l'idée et en décembre, la chaîne a été créée sans tarder. Donc, c'est la preuve que pour passer de l'idée à l'action, il ne faut vraiment pas perdre du temps. Donc, voilà, on prend aussi l'exemple maintenant de la Standard Chartered Bank qui prend...
Standard Trust Bank.
Yes, Standard Trust Bank qui arrive à débaucher des employés des autres institutions pour mettre dans leur service clientèle, à l'exemple de Bix, qui est un fast-food, des hôtels et des compagnies aériennes. Maintenant, la question est dans quel intérêt, d'après vous? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So, Ibuku, any responses?
Yes, we have 2 responses. Okay, so someone said because of an idea. Another said because of the exceptional customer service in food, hotel, and airline industries. Someone said he hired maybe because they are patient, always, they're patient people, always at the point of delivery. Someone else is saying to take advantage of their rich customer service skills.
Yeah.
Yes, so those are the points shared.
Yeah. I think the last person hit the nail on the head. Is, banking is a service business. Yeah. And so fast food chain, hotels, and airlines, these are all service industries. So remember, one of the TOE way the ideas can come from outside your industry. So STB was looking for ideas outside its industry, outside the banking industry, but still within the service industry. Okay, so ideas can come from anyone and anywhere. So going on, the next one is ideas can come from anyone. So TOE's daughter, his first child, a few years ago, made her first ever presentation at Hares Holdings. Oge is going to be, she's 19, she's going to be 20 next year. So at this time, that's 4 years ago, she was what? She's 19 minus 4, 15. She was 15 years old when she came up with this brilliant idea. And what she did is, so first and foremost, ideas can come from anyone. So ideas can come from someone that's 15 years old. One of the ideas she came up with was inspired by T-Mobile. So she was looking for ideas in terms of marketing for TF and Hares Holdings. She was looking for ideas of TF and UBA, and she got the ideas from a T-Mobile ad. And T-Mobile, we know, is another industry. So T-Mobile is in the telecommunications industry, and where T-Mobile had used a celebrity, Justin Bieber, had been used in increasing the online views for T-Mobile. So they used a celebrity. So she got first and foremost, ideas can come from anyone. So ideas can come from a 15-year-old. Ideas can come from outside the industry, from telecoms, and they use the celebrity, So the point is that Theo is trying to make, open your minds, free your minds, as he always says, to get ideas from anyone. But more importantly, when you come up with those ideas, make sure you translate those ideas into action very quickly. Also, there's Leo, UBA's chatbot, Leo, so this is UBA's chatbot that you can use social media to open accounts, using on Facebook, on Messenger, on WhatsApp. I think Leo is available, and the whole idea of using of branding it Leo, was taken from the whole idea of like Siri. We all use Apple iPhone and we've heard of Siri, or you've heard of Alexa, so Leo is like, UBA Siri, so that's an idea, and it came from the head of branding at the time at the Hares Holdings Group. So just to give you an example of ideation, ideas can come from anyone and anywhere. So Nadia and Foko, can you summarize for us, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Então, basicamente, continuando no exemplo de ideias, podendo vir de qualquer lugar, fez a questão sobre por que um banco haveria de contratar pessoas que estavam vindo de cadeia de restaurante, do hotel e por aí. Basicamente, por quê? Porque esse pessoal está na área de serviços e o banco também está na área de serviços. E, então, é basicamente indústria totalmente diferente, mas o conceito é o mesmo, é serviços. Então, eles, com a vasta experiência que trazem dessas indústrias, poderão aplicá-la e ajudar no serviço do banco. Portanto, ideias podem vir de qualquer lado, não só da pessoa que é experta na matéria. Outro exemplo é da filha do Tony Elumelu, que hoje, apenas com 15 anos, ela fez uma visita à empresa do pai, a Age Old, que é a empresa mãe da fundação, e ela ali teve uma ideia que é baseada numa publicidade que ela viu do T-Mobile, para quem conhece, é uma cadeia de telecomunicação dos Estados Unidos que usava o Justin Bieber para fazer a publicidade, baseado nesta publicidade. Ela viu, teve a ideia, deu ao pai, à empresa, a ideia foi absorvida e valeu muito para o benefício da empresa. Portanto, uma criança de 15 anos. Outro exemplo que vimos há pouco é o Leo. Leo é basicamente o chatbot do UBA. Quer dizer, quando a gente às vezes quer conversar, para quem sabe o serviço de banco online, do outro lado há um banco de cliente ou alguém o computador que tem já perguntas formatadas, respostas formatadas para responder. E basicamente esse serviço que é o chatbot. Agora, eles deram um nome a esse chatbot, deram o nome de Leo. Leo para personalizar, baseado naquilo que foi, como no caso de Siri, Alexa e por aí. Essa ideia surgiu da altura da pessoa que era responsável da área da criatividade, mas basicamente é isso. É ideias podendo vir de qualquer lado e de qualquer pessoa, e o que importa é implementá-la. Foko, over to you.
OK, thank you, Nadia. Donc, on va donc commencer par l'idéation au niveau des exemples. Tout à l'heure, on a pris l'exemple de le fait de tirer parti des idées venant de l'extérieur. Parce qu'on avait dit qu'il y avait une banque qui avait fait des recrutements hors de son secteur, en l'occurrence dans le secteur des fast-food, dans la restauration rapide, des hôtels et de l'aviation. Donc là, on essaie de montrer que les idées peuvent venir de partout. En recrutant des gens qui font des services qui sont différents des services bancaires, ça permet d'améliorer la productivité, la créativité dans le cadre de services après-vente d'une entreprise de banque. Donc l'autre exemple qui montre que l'idée peut venir de partout, c'est la première fille de Tony qui a 19 ans aujourd'hui. À l'âge de 15 ans, c'est-à-dire en 2017, elle a eu à faire une présentation où elle avait présenté une idée qui partait d'un spot pub où la star Justin Bieber intervenait pour le compte d'une compagnie mobile. Donc, son idée a été appréciée et a été partagée par tout le monde. Le dernier exemple, c'est Léo. Léo qui est la messagerie bancaire de UBA. Avec Léo, vous pouvez faire des transactions, que ce soit sur Messenger ou sur WhatsApp. Et Léo, en fait, est aussi une idée d'un cadre marketing de la banque UBA. Et aujourd'hui, Léo est dans le chatbot qui permet de créer des comptes bancaires, de faire des transactions, de mettre le crédit dans le téléphone. Et aussi, c'est une série animée de la banque UBA. Donc, voilà des exemples pour montrer que l'idée peut venir vraiment de n'importe où. OK, merci. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So let's move on. If I think we made it quite interactive. I'll move on very quickly. Yeah. Creativity. Creativity is the next one. And Thierry says, understand the dynamics, the distinguishing and competitive factors of the industry you play in and how to disrupt it. So understand the dynamics, the distinguishing and competitive factors of the industry you play in, and how to disrupt it. Okay, so that's a key TOE way. He said, and then, you know, basically the literature says disruptive innovation is about creating new markets and discovering new categories of customers. Creativity is the generation of ideas that are novel, useful, and appropriate. No point coming up with an idea that is not practical. Okay. So let's look at an example. Standard Trust Bank, when they first started. So in Nigeria at the time, most of the new generation banks, it used to take a long time, for instance, to clear checks. You know, it used to take a long time to move money from one state to another. Okay, and the new generation banks came in and connected their branches online real time. Okay, so the new concept, the differentiating factor that the new generation banks came into Nigeria, came into the market with, was linking the branches online real time. However, most of the new generation banks stuck to like 3 cities, maybe Lagos, Port Harcourt, Abuja, or Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kano. You know, they stuck with 3 major cities. Meanwhile, Nigeria has 36 states. So what did Standard Trust Bank do? Standard Trust Bank came into the market and disrupted it. They understood the differentiating factor. They understood the dynamics, the distinguishing and competitive factors being online real time, and then they took it to 36 states. So they didn't restrict themselves to 4 cities, 3 or 4 cities. They went into 36 states, and they got the first mover advantage that way. So STB permitted customers, and again, another thing they did, so apart from going into 36 cities as opposed to 4 and linking them online real time, they allowed their customers to open accounts with 0 balance. In those days, you had to, if you wanted to open a bank account, you had to have a minimum balance. You know, financial services were therefore available to the unbanked. You know, many people who could not afford to open a bank account could now do so. This has been replicated to 19 other countries. As you know, UBA is present in 20 African countries now. UBA has over 23 million customers, over 630 branches and touch points, 2,600 ATMs. Remember I said I was going to give you the statistics on that. 91,500 plus POSs, you know, and a robust online and mobile banking platform. And so this all came from creativity, understanding the market, understanding the distinguishing factors, and disrupting the market. And you know, it's one thing for you to say that about yourself. It's one thing to say, okay, you were creative, you know, for you to say, oh, you disrupted the market, etc. It's another thing for somebody else to say that. So in the newspapers in 2017, somebody was writing an article, and this is what they wrote. They said, actually, when you think of disruption, you think of technology. In Nigeria, think of the banking industry. And he names some banks. He says how XYZ disrupt, including Standard Trust Bank, disrupted their industry, that changed the face of banking, the face of the banking industry, and the way we bank in the country. He says Tony Elumelu, who parented Standard Trust Bank, that later acquired United Bank of Africa for Africa, is another example. It was STB that first opened savings account for students with no initial deposit. Remember the examples I've just given? This is somebody else writing it. The bank attracted large base of customers, mostly young people. It says, I remember how the National Youth Service Corps members flooded the Standard Trust Bank located on Oba Akran in Ikeja, Lagos, to open accounts back in the day. So this is just an example of creativity, you know, and TOE says the rare type of leaders are those who have the ability to think and do. Ensure your idea is not obsolete before you implement it. Think and do, think and execute, think and accomplish in a timely manner. So I'd like to hear from you. as our translators, as Foko and Nadia translate for us. Nadia seems to have dropped off, Ibikun.
Yes, she has internet challenges, so she's trying to fix that. So she'll join us once she's able to. So Foko will just take.
Okay, so Foko, if you can translate, and I'd like to hear from you guys. What are the distinguishing factors in your industry? What are the, remember, you have to understand the dynamics, the distinguishing and competitive factors of the industry you play in and how to disrupt it. So how do you plan to disrupt your market? Okay, so Foko, summarize for me and end with this question. Thank you.
OK, thank you too. Donc, nous sommes maintenant au niveau de la créativité et Angela essaie de nous expliquer quels sont les facteurs qui poussent à la créativité. On dit par exemple que la dynamique d'un marché est très important à connaître. Il faut mesurer la dynamique parce qu'à travers cette dynamique, on peut détecter des nouveaux marchés et des nouveaux marchés, et à partir de nouveaux marchés, on peut détecter de nouveaux clients. Ça, c'est quelque chose de très important à noter. Maintenant, on a pris l'exemple encore de la Standard Trust Bank qui, à son époque ou bien à un moment, était très disruptive parce qu'elle a révolutionné le monde de la banque. À l'époque, il était difficile de faire des paiements bancaires ou bien de faire des paiements inter-États. Alors, qu'est-ce que cette banque a fait? Cette banque a essayé de miser sur la technologie. Donc, ils ont misé sur la technologie en créant le genre de banque de proximité. Il était ainsi possible pour les gens d'ouvrir des comptes avec 0 francs CFA. Pardon, avec 0 francs. C'est-à-dire que pour ouvrir un compte, on ne vous demandait pas d'avoir un montant minimal à mettre dans le compte. Donc, voilà autant de politiques qui ont été mises sur pied afin de pouvoir changer le monde de la banque. Et pour cela, on a mis au devant la technologie parce que la technologie est très disruptive. Ça permet d'atteindre des objectifs très vite et de façon révolutionnaire. Donc, elle prend l'exemple, par exemple, de UBA Bank qui a pratiquement 23 millions de clients, plus de 630 agents dans le monde et est présent dans 20 pays en Afrique. On prend aussi l'exemple d'un article de presse qui dit clairement comment est-ce que la Standard Trust Bank a révolutionné le monde de la banque en permettant plus tard à Tony, à travers UBA, d'ouvrir des comptes aux étudiants. Et rappelez-vous l'exemple tout à l'heure, il n'était pas facile d'ouvrir un compte si on n'avait pas un montant minimal. Donc, la banque UBA a permis aux étudiants d'ouvrir des comptes sans avoir un solde de départ. Ça, c'était vraiment disruptif. Et elle insistait sur un point que je dois bien vous rappeler que le dynamisme d'un marché part de la disruption. Donc, le dynamisme d'un marché, vous devez tenir compte de cela pour pouvoir apporter des solutions disruptives. Ça, c'est très important. Donc, c'est des passages qui sont en anglais. On aura le temps de les traduire et de vous les soumettre. OK, donc le dynamisme, bien comprendre la dynamique du secteur parce que ça permet de se distinguer et d'être compétitif dans une industrie et ainsi de pouvoir avoir un marché disruptif. OK, thank you, Angela. You have the floor.
Thank you. So let's, Ibukun, summarize for us if anyone has come back with any responses.
Okay, so I have a couple. So I have by creating an online platform for ordering customized cleaning services and profiles. I deliver my products to customers, which competitors don't. My customers could order through my social media channel as well. And I disrupt the market by supplying standard and certified engine oil because most of my competitors are busy selling substandard engine oil.
Oh, well done, well done, well done, well done. So we're all disrupting the markets in which we operate. Well done, well done, well done. So let's move on. The next one we're going to be looking at is syndicating views and management by consensus. And so Thierry says, leaders must develop listening skills and the ability to syndicate varying views. He says, you'll be shortchanging yourself if you don't seek ideas from your staff. Remember, ideas can come from anyone or anywhere. So if you are not listening to your staff, you may not get the idea that will solve a market need. He says, you don't know everything. If you have stars, bring their perspectives to the debate. The fact that you listen doesn't mean that you agree. Listen to the stars amongst your staff, but be decisive in driving action once a decision is made. Okay? And, you know, syndicating views with your peers, as well as more seasoned professionals, provides valuable information to a leader at any level. For that matter, it is important to syndicate views with those who are younger, less experienced, and not even involved in your field. Remember, it can come from anywhere. It can come from a 15-year-old, can come from someone who is not a subject matter expert. An idea that is formed without input from others is only half formed. Why is this important? Put simply, for varied perspective. You get varied perspective when you listen to other people's point of view. And you know, consensus does not mean unanimity or 100% agreement on all issues on the table. That's not consensus. You know, it's just bringing the majority agrees. So it's not 100% agreement, you know. So consensus is broad unanimity. Ensure that minority views are heard and given as much consideration as majority views. It results in buy-in. It ensures that you speak with one voice once consensus is reached. So let's take a look at an example. So when STB and UBA merged, STB was using Finacle, the core banking application that STB was using was Finacle, and the one the UBA was using was FlexCube. As we all know, mergers rise and fall on technology integration. So, you know, so following the merger, UBA had to decide which IT system it would adopt. This, as we know, like I said, is the heart of any merger and where many mergers have failed. So in a typical TOE way, he subjected this to a debate because obviously the STB guys wanted to use Finacle and the UBA guys wanted to use FlexCube. So he made the STB IT guys present a debate, present arguments for FlexCube. And he made the UBA guys present arguments for Finacle. Consensus was reached and Finacle was adopted. Why do you think TOE adopted this approach?
Okay.
Ok, donc le prochain point où nous en sommes, c'est le sens de l'écoute. Donc, Angela essaie de nous expliquer qu'un leader doit avoir le sens de l'écoute. Il doit pouvoir savoir mutualiser les avis. Et l'exemple typique de la mutualisation des avis, c'est le partage par les pairs. Il faut écouter ses semblables. Prenez par exemple l'exemple des peer-to-peer, les groupes de WhatsApp où on vous met dans la fondation. Et rappelle bien, une idée peut venir de n'importe où. Il ne faut pas négliger là où l'idée vient. L'idée peut venir de n'importe où. Donc, c'est important de mutualiser les avis. Et elle dit, le consensus n'est pas forcément l'unanimité. Donc, avoir une idée consensuelle ne veut pas dire qu'on a eu 100% des personnes qui ont accepté. Il s'agit juste de donner la main à l'une des personnes et de pouvoir avancer. Comme cas pratique, elle nous prend l'exemple de le groupement entre Standard Trust Bank et UBA, quand les deux banques se sont mises ensemble. Donc, il y avait un problème au niveau des systèmes informatiques, puisque UBA utilisait Finacle Standard Trust Bank utilisait Finacle et UBA utilisait FlexCube. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'il fallait choisir comme système? Puisque maintenant, c'était une seule banque et il fallait choisir un système. Qu'est-ce que Tony a fait? C'était simple. Tony a juste mis les deux camps en compétition et a demandé à chacune des parties de présenter les avantages et tous les facteurs liés à son système. Et finalement, l'un des systèmes a été retenu. Donc, la question qu'elle pose maintenant, c'est pourquoi, d'après vous, Tony a utilisé cette technique? Pourquoi est-ce qu'il a mutualisé les idées et il a opposé les deux pour que chacun puisse présenter les bienfaits de son système? Okay, I have just explained the question.
Thank you. So comments, please. What are people saying?
So we have a few comments. So we have the first one, to obtain different views from each side.
Yeah.
Because ideas can come from anyone. The third is to hear everyone's view. That way it determines the best idea. And then 4, flexibility. And then to get diverse views from staff, which can aid in proper decision making. Yeah, so that's all we have for now. So more comments are still coming.
So do you guys think that it will lead to objectivity? If you know, the UBA guys are arguing for Finacle, remember they're biased towards FlexView. So if they have to argue for Finacle, don't you think that bias would be removed because they're arguing for something? They would go and do research and find the best, you know, to present their arguments. It will also bring about a shared what's the word? A shared vision. They will all own it, you know, at the end of the day, because they've seen both sides. Consensus was reached, you know, with this strategy, you know. Theory always says he needs the wisdom of Solomon. So I guess it was the wisdom of Solomon that he used to get this this approach. The next one is meticulous. And Theo says, I'm a voracious reader. When I read more than once. You know, just imagine you want to read something, you want to read a memo, you want to read some newspaper article. He says, when I read more than once. When I read a case study, I read to learn. I learn from other people's mistakes. I like to know what companies have why companies have succeeded or failed. It proves the quality of your decisions. It improves the quality of your decisions. Don't just read to entertain yourselves, draw lessons. Very, very, very interesting. So, you know, being meticulous, attention to detail, be painstaking, extreme care about minute details, you know, be precise, be thorough, take notes meticulously. And here he says, voracious reading is the solution to making a difference. I read 2 books on my area of interest every month. The information and knowledge acquired can then be applied in any facet of tasks that require your attention. Knowledge increases confidence, and confidence is a key attribute for excellence, not only at work, but also in your other areas of human endeavor. Strong branding focus. Okay, let me leave the interpreters to, I'm not asking for any interaction on this one. Let me allow the interpreters to, so Foko, over to you to explain meticulous.
Ok, thank you. Donc maintenant, l'autre astuce de Tony, c'est qu'il faut être très méticuleux. Donc avant ça, je reviens un peu sur la façon de Tony de régler le problème du système. Il avait en fait opposé les 2 camps en disant à ceux qui étaient en faveur de Finacle de donner des arguments pour FESQ et vice-versa. Donc il a un peu inversé les rôles de défense de projet et le consensus a été sur Finacle. Donc maintenant, pour être méticuleux, Tony insiste sur une chose, il faut être très méticuleux. Il faut être très méticuleux. Et pour être méticuleux, il dit qu'il lit beaucoup. Il faut beaucoup lire afin d'apprendre des cas pratiques, afin de beaucoup apprendre et se cultiver. Donc, il faut beaucoup lire afin d'être méticuleux dans tout ce qu'on fait. Please, next.
Okay, thank you. So the next thing we're going to do, and I think it's the last for today, last business value for today, is strong branding focus. And Thierry says we must know that we are what and how we project ourselves. You are who you say you are. You're all building a brand now. All of you are all building a brand. He said branding is the soul of an organization. It is what really defines an organization. Says our organization should be well represented in various manifestations through our people, our writings, our interactions, our relationships. All these should define who we are and how we project ourselves. It says you may not make a profit in the first or second year. However, as you build your brand equity, people will patronize you in the long run. Your brand name must resonate with quality. You know, and we all know what a brand is. What's a brand? What's a brand?
Ok, donc ici, maintenant, on est au niveau de la forte image de marque, la forte notoriété que vous devez avoir. Donc, Tony insiste sur quelque chose que vous devez avoir une forte image de vous-même. Vous devez travailler votre image, la travailler de façon méticuleuse. Donc, à retenir que l'image de marque compte et quel que soit ce que nous faisons, ça interagit et ça influence sur ce que nous sommes. Il faut tenir compte de tout ça lorsqu'on agit. Prendre soin de son image de marque parce que c'est très important pour les affaires. Donc, elle pose la question, qu'est-ce que vous en pensez? Qu'est-ce que c'est que l'image de marque? Qu'est-ce que c'est que le branding? C'est la question qui est posée actuellement, on attend votre avis.
So what's a brand? Ibikun?
Yeah, so we're waiting for responses from the entrepreneurs. So please send your responses to the chat so that I can share.
Because you're all building a brand right now. So what is a brand? What are you building? Remember what it says we must know that we are what and how we project ourselves. You are who you say you are.
Donc, nous sommes tous en train de construire des marques. Qu'est-ce que c'est qu'une marque?
Okay, so I have one here. So someone just said a brand is a unique identity of a product.
Very good. So unique identity, a name, a term, a design, or other feature that distinguishes one seller's product from the others. So it's you're unique, you know, that's your brand. And remember, so as you're trying to be creative, as you're trying to disrupt your market and everything, you're creating your brand. You're creating that distinguishing, that unique identity. You know, so that's excellent. So it's a name, a sign, a symbol, a design, or combination of these elements intended to identify the products and services of one marketer and to differentiate them from those of the competition. Excellent.
So I have more comments here.
Okay, go on.
So someone is saying a brand is a name, image of your idea, what makes you stand out from others. Your brand is your badge. It's what you're identified with.
Yes, yes.
And then another person says a brand is what you sell. It's it's the service you provide to people. So yes, that's the last comment.
Excellent, excellent. So, and then, you know, small company brands, this is what the literature says, small company brands usually take on the personality of the entrepreneur that owns them. So as you're building your brand, you will notice that your personality is also integrated into the brand. It says an entrepreneur or founder to a large extent is the brand, because the personality and the interest of the founder is going to have a lot to do with the way that that company is perceived by others. Okay, so note that as you build your brand, you know, and I'd just like to say this, Warren Buffett says, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently, you know? So think about that. Not only think about building your brand, think about how you protect your brand, build your reputation, and you ensure that, you know, you don't ruin your reputation. Every contact with your customer should reinforce your brand. Every contact, you know, key areas you should focus on: your business name, the names of your products, your slogan, your logo, your style and quality of your stationery, your product pricing, your premises, where and how you advertise, how you and your employees dress, how you and your employees behave, your website. All these are part of building your brand, you know. And use social media. Okay, so, you know, use social media, use Instagram, use, you know, somebody talked about online marketing. There's a lot of online marketing going on now on social media. You know, make sure you listen and join conversations, you know, use it as a promotional tool. Follow those people who will add value to your business and, you know, point you to links that will help your business. You know what I mean? You know, so use social media because especially post-COVID, it's so important to use social media for our businesses. You know, so some social media tips: be active, start where your customers are, use useful content, use images and videos, don't over and analyze your posts, understand your customer. Engagement is two-way. Have a plan, set a goal and measure it, and outsource if you need to. There are companies that help manage social media. So, you know, if you don't have the skills, especially in this startup stage, you know, outsource. I think your brand distinguishes you from others. It's your name, your sign, your symbol, your design. And like I said, focus on all these areas. And I'll give an example. So we talked about what makes mergers fail, etc., being IT. Another thing that is difficult during a merger is branding the merger and merging the brand. You know, and there are various approaches. One did some literature on this. And one of the strategies is understand, you know, so you can do the backing. This article said backing the strong, based on a survey that was done. They said, you know, you can back the strong horse, best of both, different in kind, and business as usual. And one just wanted to look at the UBA example, the UBA STB example, and it's under the best of both strategy. And the best of both strategy that was used in the UBA STB merger is where the new organization adopts an identity that combines the name and or visual elements of the lead and target companies. So this is what happened in the UBA STB merger. They took the name from UBA, so the name, the logo, the symbol, the name UBA, and then took the symbol from Standard Trust, and the symbol and the color. So the UBA name and the STB logo and color was used for in the merger to brand the merger and merge the brand. Okay, so thank you. This is the end of webinar 1, and questions.
Okay.
Or maybe first I'd like interpretation. So Foko, maybe you want to interpret before.
Ok, donc vous finissez avec le branding ou la marque. Donc, à la question posée, il y a un participant qui a proposé l'unicité. Il a dit la marque, c'est être unique. Effectivement, la marque, c'est être unique. Votre produit doit être unique. Votre façon de faire doit être unique. La façon de vos employés de s'habiller, de se comporter, la façon avec laquelle vous devez traiter les clients doit être unique. Ça doit être lié à une image de marque, à une notoriété que vous êtes en train de bâtir. C'est très important en affaires. Elle signale aussi que les petites entreprises, généralement, sont fortement liées à leur chef, à leur leader, à leur créateur. Donc, forcément, quand vous êtes à la tête d'une petite entreprise, vous devez avoir une forte image. Vous devez avoir une forte image parce que cette image va directement impacter votre entreprise. Il y a une citation de Warren Buffett qui dit « Ça vous prend 20 ans pour bâtir une marque et 5 minutes pour la détruire. » Donc, ça veut dire que quand vous êtes en entreprise, quand vous fondez une entreprise, vous devez prendre soin de votre marque. Vous devez mettre en place des mécanismes et des outils de protection de votre marque. Et pour finir, on va parler de la jointure des marques. On prend l'exemple de quand UBA et la Standard Trust Bank devaient se joindre. Ce qu'on a fait est simple au niveau de la marque, parce que ça, par contre, c'est pas évident. Tel que vous voyez, on a jumelé UBA, c'est-à-dire les caractères de UBA et le logo de la Standard Trust Bank. Donc, voilà un consensus qui a été trouvé afin que l'image de marque des deux entreprises soit protégée et soit maintenue pour l'avenir. Donc, voilà un peu l'histoire du logo de UBA qui nous permet de clore cette session, cette partie sur les marques et cette session. Donc, on vous remercie et à la prochaine. Thank you, Angela. You have the floor.
Thank you, Foko. Logo et couleur. STB.
Oui, le logo et la couleur. OK, thank you.
Merci. Okay, so questions. So Ibuku, over to you for questions. Thank you, Foko.
Okay, so we have just one question. However, we have a lot of comments. Thank you, Angela, for the educative session. We really enjoyed it. Very impactful and insightful. And then the question is, my business will begin to make profits and returns after four years. Can I set up my milestones in the year when I start to get my returns and profit? I think this person wants to know when he needs to set up his milestones.
I would imagine when you do, have you guys gone through the business plan yet?
Yes, so we've actually taken them through this. Yes, we have.
Yes, business plan. So
yeah.
Your business plan, you should have, and it's something that we're still going to talk about Thierry's, what Thierry says about celebrating milestones. So you should have milestones, and he says celebrate short-term success. So when you achieve, because it will spur you on to achieve more. So yes, you should have milestones, and you should set those milestones at the time that you write your business plan.
Okay, so the second question is, I don't produce my products. I'm a distributor of soft drinks. How do I create my own brand?
I think yours would be around quality of service. I would imagine, reliability. If you're, I don't know, you're distributing to some people. I'm just thinking off my feet here. You're distributing to someone, and you have people that buy from you, and you don't deliver on time, for instance. So your product is, you're dealing with a product that is a commodity. Everybody has it, but you're not delivering on time. They will stop buying from you. So it has to be the quality of the service that you deliver. That's the add-on that you will bring to the table. Tomatoes are tomatoes are tomatoes, but the person that brings clean tomatoes, the person that delivers tomatoes when I order them, if I wanted them, every Friday at a certain time, and that person always delivers on time, clean tomatoes, not rotten tomatoes. You know what I mean? So it's all about the quality of the service that you add on to this, commodity, I think.
Okay.
And obviously your price, because I don't know whether you're, uniform price or whether you're adding your own. So price, I think, would also be important. So service and price, quality and price. Yeah.
Okay. So we have another question. What was the MOU between STB and UBA after branding the merger and merging the brands? So I think this person wants an idea of the memorandum of understanding between both companies.
I don't know what the memorandum of understanding would be. I'm not sure I understand that question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I understand that question, but I think the bottom line is there was a merger, and during the merger, technology was integrated, people were integrated, systems were integrated, brands were integrated. I don't know what the details of that MOU would be, but the important thing is there was harmony, there was consensus. Customers were integrated. So, and I gave you an example. I've given you two examples of what was integrated. So one, the brand was integrated, and then I showed you how technology was integrated. So this should be an example, two examples of the MOU, if you like.
Yeah. Okay, so there's another comment here. Wow, this is amazingly enlightening. Thank you so much, Angela. And the other question is, can two different business sectors merge? Not just financial sector or banking sector. Example, say a logistics company and a chef, like a catering company. Can these two companies or sectors merge as one?
Yeah, you've seen integration along a value chain, or you could see it, so you've seen businesses that are totally unrelated, a diverse portfolio. So yes, the answer is yes. You could decide that you want to invest in totally unrelated sectors, or you could decide that you want to invest across a value chain. I think the example you gave was across the value chain. But just using the Hess Holdings examples, Hess Holdings has invested recently in oil and gas, recently in insurance. Insurance and oil and gas are totally unrelated. So yes, you can you know, but these were not mergers. So I guess that's not appropriate. Or you look at Transcore, you know, as well. Transcore has invested in, you know, Transcore has invested in power, in hotels, you know, so yeah, you can integrate. So it depends on what you want to achieve. But I think you will find mergers that are from two different sectors. And I stand to be corrected. If you want downward integration, so you will find mergers along. I'm trying to look for an example, and maybe the next seminar I'll come up with an example, but I can't think of one off head. But I'm sure there are examples of mergers that have integrated along the value chain.
Okay, so there's one question here. Hi, Angela. Many thanks for your time and lecture. Many positive things added to our knowledge and concept. Please, what was TOE academic qualification before the age of 26? So I guess
he had a bachelor's and he had a master's. And, you know, we'll talk about that at the end when we do the leadership. So series 4, we'll talk about that. And he'll tell you the boldness he had to apply for his first job. We'll talk about that in series webinar 4. But he had a bachelor's and he had a master's.
Okay, so the last question we have here is, how do I protect my brand in a highly competitive and disruptive business environment? So how do I protect my brand?
Continue to understand the distinguishing factors and make yourself unique. Understand the distinguishing factors. Let's go back to that slide. So I really like that quote from TOE. You have to constantly reinvent yourselves. TOE says, understand the dynamics, the distinguishing and competitive factors of the industry you play in and how to disrupt the market. And it's an ongoing thing, because as you disrupt, somebody else will copy, you know. So when Standard Trust Bank came up with, you know, 36 cities, online real time, I mean, all the banks are there now and have linked all the, you know, so you just have to constantly find new ways, you have to constantly be creative. You have to constantly come up with new ideas, new ways of doing things to disrupt your market and stay ahead. Okay?
Yeah, so that's all we have for now. Those are the questions, yeah, and the comments. Thank you very much, Angela, for this impactful session.
Thank you
very
much.
Appreciate you, and the entrepreneurs really appreciate you as well. And I'm very sure that they're really waiting for the next series on Thursday. Okay. So, yeah, so thank you very much. And thank you to Foko as well, and Nadia for the translation.
Nadia's dropped out. Thank you, Bukun. Thank you
very much.
For being the voice of the entrepreneurs.
Thank you very much. All right, bye everyone. Thank you. So we'll have another session next week, this Thursday at 2 p.m. Please ensure to join. It's going to be very, very impactful and, you know, very enlightening. So we'll wait to see you guys on Thursday again. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye.